Talking with Mark Holyoke from the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and you set out a story that just grabbed me right away, Mark, a very compelling story about how the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is helping out a Purple Heart recipient and someone who suffered greatly, and I know that the folks there at RMEF reached out to this gentleman. What can you tell me about this story?
Well, his name's Patrick Ziegler. Patrick was in the, or I should say on the base at Fort Hood back in 2009 in that processing center when that gunman kind of went off and started shooting people. He was shot 4 times. He took one of the bullets went through his head, one went through his forearm and other places, and he just had a really difficult time, obviously. But it was shortly after that when he was lying in bed and he was talking to a chaplain, and he said, I'm not in any shape to do it, but I'd really like to go on an elk hunt someday. I mean, he's a hunter, but he's never, been on an elk hunt. And so somehow word got to Jim Zumbo. Zumbo, he's well known in the hunting community. He's also a member of our board of directors. And then word got back to our CEO, David Allen, here in Montana, and he said, we're going to make this happen. And so there's been a lot of, difficult times for the family. Every day is a struggle, a number of setbacks, but he's rehabbed for hours and hours. And last fall, we hooked up with Patrick and Taco and took him on a hunt, and he was able to take a nice bull. And what really comes full circle is the fact that there was a ceremony morning in Fort Hood. Patrick returned with his wife Jessica and his son Liam, and he, among others, received a Purple Heart for being involved in that tragic situation. So it's a fluid situation, but we're really proud of Patrick. We had him at our convention last December in Las Vegas and surprised him and pulled him up on stage, and he's a great young man, and we really appreciate all he does, as well as we appreciate all veterans and members of our armed forces.
How long did it take to arrange that trip and get it done? I realize there were probably a lot of obstacles that had to be overcome.
Well, the main thing, it was in his court, obviously. He had to basically relearn how to walk, and he's okay in the fact that he can walk, but he can't go very far, and he's not really stable, but that's what it came down to, and he really applied himself. I mean, the doctors told him he wouldn't walk again, and he said, I will walk again, and he worked hard and retaught his body how to walk, and then he had just various setbacks, physical setbacks, and multiple trips to the Mayo Clinic, and all sorts of attention from the folks, the medical personnel in the armed services as well. So it took until last fall, from 2009, until he was physically able, strong enough, had the desire, had the time, where all the planets could align so that he could go on a hunt.